All right, welcome everyone. So let's go ahead and just get seated anywhere along your mat in a comfortable upright position. Go ahead and gently close the eyes. The hands can be rested anywhere on the lap, maybe hands down, or maybe palms facing up. Or maybe you want to put one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, just anything that feels good here. And as we get settled here, we'll start to explore our theme of the week, which is Maya. And Maya is essentially an illusion or a distortion of reality that's wrongly perceived or interpreted by our senses. There's this yogic philosophy story about a man who is walking along a path at night, and he sees this poisonous snake and fearfully runs in the other direction. The next morning, he walks along the same path and he sees a coiled rope in the same place that the snake was. And in that moment, he realizes that it wasn't a snake, it was a rope all along, and his perception of reality was clouded by the darkness that caused him to react with fear. So with Maya, we can observe and ask ourselves, what are the snakes that show up in our life? Maybe it's a judgment of the self based on past patterns or how others have treated us. Maybe it's how we perceive others, or maybe it's an illusion created from all this content that we're constantly consuming. From a human behavior point of view, our minds are always trying to fill in the blank and draw conclusions, which often leads us to create untruths. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Feel the belly rise, the heart and chest expand, and exhale, let it go. Another deep breath in, fill up, send that breath all the way into the heart space, and exhale, let it go. Really good, guys. One last breath here, filling up. Allow this to be your deepest breath yet. And exhale, let it all go. So throughout our mindfulness practice, yoga, breath work, meditation helps us stop and see illusions, these snakes in our lives before we can react. And removing these layers of illusions helps us connect to our truest sense of self. So as we get on our mat today, that's my intention for you all, is to kind of explore and notice just any untruths that may show up. Go ahead and blink open the eyes. And from here, we'll start with a spinal twist. So go ahead and take the left hand, place it on the right knee. Right fingertips become behind the low back. On an inhale, sit up tall, finding length in the spine. Then exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Maybe the gaze goes over that right shoulder. Start to feel the torso lined up here. Inhale in, fill up. Exhale, let it go. We'll pass through center, switching out sides, just allowing this to be gentle. Right hand to left knee. Left fingertips come behind the low back. Before we get settled, inhale, sit up tall, finding length of the spine, crown of the head reaches. Then exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. Not forcing anything, just allowing this to be gentle, waking up the back side of our body. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, we'll pass through center. Place the pads of the fingertips outside of each of the hips. We'll go ahead and drop the right ear to the right shoulder. So just pausing here, allowing the side of the neck to stretch out. This does not have to be static, so you can always draw the chin a little bit in towards the chest, or maybe the ear a little bit away from the shoulder, just finding that sweet spot where we carry that tension. And go ahead and pass through center, and we'll drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Just starting to really feel these movements in the body this evening. Start to feel connected. Notice where the mind takes you, just starting to observe the self. Finding a little movement here, passing through center, right ear comes back to right shoulder, inhale in, and then exhale, pass through center, left ear, left shoulder. We'll do a couple more rounds of this. No right or wrong, just feeling, allowing the neck, the shoulders to start to open up. Good job, guys. One more each side. Go ahead and bring the head back to upright. From here, we'll find eagle arm. So the right arm will cross under the left. Palms can clasp, or if you're a little tight in the shoulders, you can grab opposite shoulders here. Then from here, start to work the elbows up a little bit higher and the fingertips maybe away from the face. So feeling that pull and lengthening across the shoulder blades. Then from here, finding cat and cow. On an inhale, start to arch the spine, so the gaze up, the elbows pull up. Then on an exhale, we're drawing the elbows in towards the belly button, the gaze down, grounding the spine. Linking breath to movement, inhale, reach up, elbows up, gaze up. Then on an exhale, elbows draw down, gaze draws down, rounding the spine. Taking this at your own pace, following breath with movement. You can pause in one position, you can let go of the grip. But just starting to open up the spine, the shoulders, preparing us for these locust variations that we're getting into. Take a few more rounds, feeling the body open up. Go ahead and come back through center. We'll switch out arms. So this time, left arm comes under the right, just switching out the sides, and then starting to find those cat and cows. Just giving yourself space to allow the shoulders to drop and open, especially if you've been sitting at a desk or rounding the spine all day. This class should feel really nice to open up the backside of the body. Take a couple more rounds. Your flow, your movements, giving yourself permission to always take a pose or not take a pose, just listening to the self today. That inner intuition. All right, go ahead and let that go once you finish your cycle. We'll remove the arms. Ciao, guys. From here, we'll find Baddha Konasana, so the soles of the feet will come together, the knees out wide, so in that diamond shape of the legs. On an inhale, sit up tall, feel the rooting of the sits bones, pull the shoulders back, then start to maybe fold into the shape. So shoulders back, chest forward, think long spine here. So long spine all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Again, we're early in class, so just start to feel the opening in the hips, not forcing anything. Just allowing whatever shows up here to simply be. Draw your mind's awareness to the breath. Feel the fullness on the inhales and the release on the exhales. Go ahead and come on back up to center. We'll take one last seated pose here. Extend the legs out long, so setting up for a seated forward fold. Flexing the feet so toes point back towards the face. Getting long in the torso. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, biceps is in line with the ears. Then on an exhale, start to a forward fold. Again, being early in class, you may want to bend the knees generously. I always tend to be a little bit tighter in my hamstrings at the beginning of class and the end of class. So just taking whatever modifications you need tonight. Allow the tension in the head to drop here, the face to relax, wiggling out the jaw maybe. Drawing the shoulders back. And of course, feeling the hamstrings elongate. 2 more cycles of breath here, giving your body the space it needs to open up. Really, really good. Go ahead and start to come on back up. And from here, we'll make our way to our first downward facing dog. Go ahead and plant the hands, lift the hips up and back. First down dog here, finding any movements you'd like to find, maybe bending a knee, bending the other. Just exploring that movement here. Maybe staying still is what you need, just listening. Observing. Eventually start to make your way to a static pose, just holding down dog. Feeling grounded in the hands, the fingertips spreading wide. Then we'll find a twist in our downward facing dog. So I like to walk the feet in towards the hands just a couple of steps, maybe a step or two, and then widen the feet out the width of the mat. Then from here, so you're basically taking a more narrow, wider stance. Then from here, the left hand will lift up and reach to the outside edge of that right leg. So maybe you're up on the quad, maybe you're grabbing the ankle or the calf, just finding that connection point and using it as leverage to twist the torso open. This doesn't serve you, hold down dog. Go ahead and let that go. We'll switch outside, shifting the weight to the left hand. The right arm reaches under the body, grabbing to the outside edge of that left leg. Awesome, go ahead and let that go. We'll come back to our normal down dog stance, so take a step back, narrow the feet a little bit. Then we'll inhale, lift the right leg high. Then we'll bend the knee, stack the hip open. So opening that right hip. Maybe you want to roll the ankle out or draw circles with the knee, whatever feels good here. One more deep breath in, fill up. And then exhale, let that leg go. We'll switch to the other side when you're ready. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Then exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, stacking left on top of right. Maybe making circles with the knee or the ankle. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, release the left leg down. Go ahead and start to walk the feet in towards the hands, forward fold, top of the mat. We'll grab opposite elbows and allow the head and the neck to hang heavy here. Maybe swaying from side to side or shaking the head out, yes or no. Just letting all of that tension go in the upper body. Feeling grounded and rooted in the feet. Strength and stability in the legs. Start to let go of the hands. Place the fingertips on the shins. Inhale, finds halfway lift. Pull the belly in. Crown of the head reaches forward, gaze down. Then exhale, fold back in. 2 more of these. Inhale, finds half lift. Hamstring spiral back. Exhale, fold back in. Last time. Inhale, finds half lift. Then exhale, folds back in. We'll ground down to the feet, reach the arms all the way up. Then exhale, pull the hands through heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. We'll interlace the fingers, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, side bend over to the right. So stretching the left side body, feeling the left ribs elongate. Equally grounding the weight of the body in both feet. Come back through center, switch out sides. Hands over to the left, reaching and opening the right side body. Yeah, beautiful job, guys. Passing through center, we'll start to flow here. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, find lengthen the spine, lift halfway, pull the belly in. Then exhale, plank the hands, step back, high plank. We'll hold this first round just for a couple of breaths. Stacking our shoulders over the wrists. Energy draws out through the heels of the feet. We're actively drawing the belly up and in. So knitting the rib cage together towards the midline of the body. This becomes too much, you drop the knees. One more breath in, fill up strongly. Then exhale, slowly lower down to the mat, elbows grazing the rib cage. From here, we'll find baby cobra, plant the toenails into the mat. Elbows pull in towards the spine and start to lift up. So think about length here from the crown of the head towards the toes, preparing our body for locust pose. So starting to feel all of those back core muscles turn on. Thinking space in the low back. Awesome job. Go ahead and tap the nose down. We'll curl the toes under. Start to draw the belly up towards the spine. We're going to try to lift up into plank pose. So drawing the core in, lifting, pushing up. Yeah. And then back to downward facing dog. Inhale, set the gaze forward. Then exhale, feet meet hands. Inhale, find halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Grab down to the feet, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, pull the hands to heart center. Let's speed that up a little bit. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine and lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. We're lowering all the way down to the belly on the same exhale, so strongly lower. Baby cobra, toenails into the mat, inner thigh spiraling up, start to lift up, that cobra pose. Then tap the nose down, curl the toes under, belly button draws towards the spine. Strongly push up, high plank, downward facing dog. Good job, guys. Set the gaze in between the hands. Then feet meet hands, top of the mat. Maybe trying to jump this time. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Ground down to the feet, reach the arms. Exhale, pull the hands to heart center. We'll do one more round. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Taking this at your own pace, you can skip, leave out what you don't like, add on what you do. Inhale, lift. Exhale, plank the hands, step back, high plank, lowering all the way down to the belly on the same exhale. Strong in the triceps. Toenails press down, baby cobra, drawing the elbows in towards the spine. Then tapping the nose down, curling the toes under, strongly lifting up to plank. Plank sends you back to down dog. Let's go ahead and find our first child's pose, dropping the knees and shins. Hips back towards the heels, reaching the arms forward. Allowing yourself to connect back in right now. Feel the rhythm of the breath. And always giving yourself permission to take child's pose when you need it or any other resting pose. And then also giving yourself permission to listen to the body. So if something does not feel good, if a posture does not feel right, giving yourself permission to take something else instead or to find a resting pose. Whenever you're ready, we will meet back in downward facing dog. No rush to get there. Good job, guys. We'll start to build our flow together. So we'll inhale, reach the right leg high, three-legged dog. Then exhale, step the right foot in between the hands, warrior one. You'll plant that left foot down, reach the arms up overhead. So warrior one, you'll think about squaring the hips off. So it's trying to draw that left hip towards the top corner of the mat. And then finding length out of the side body. So instead of dumping the weight down into our hips, seeing if we can lift back up. So we kind of have this like polar feel and energy where we have the heels pressing down, but then we also have the weight of the torso lifting up. Awesome job. Go ahead and interlace the fingers behind the low back, clasping the hands. If this doesn't feel good, you can take opposite elbows maybe or grab onto the wrist. We'll go ahead and inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, sink back in. Inhale, straighten right leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten leg. One more time, exhale, bend. Then from here, we'll find humble warrior. Inhale, baby back bend. And then exhale, leading with the chest and the shoulders. Humble warrior. Both shoulders coming to the inside of that right leg. Feeling the feet here, the weight going to the outside edge of the left foot. The energy of the right heel drawing back. Use the strength in your right leg to bring you back up. Warrior one, untangle the arms. Then exhale, we'll open warrior two. Right arm leads, the left arm is back. So giving yourself kind of space to wiggle out, make any adjustments. Tracking the right knee over the ankle. And then drawing the shoulders over the hips. So not leaning forward or back, trying to get that torso directly over the hips. Feeling the right glute turn on. Again, the energy of the right heel is pulling back towards the left heel. So it's almost like this energetic draw back that engages our muscles. Go ahead and straighten the right leg. And then from here, we'll find triangle pose. So pulling the left hip back, reaching the right fingertips forward. The right hand will come down along the right leg, left arm reaching up. Seeing if you can draw the left shoulder back and space a little bit. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the top hand. All right, so layering on our pose from last week, half moon. Start to set the gaze in front of the right toes. And then springing off here, maybe taking a couple steps or maybe finding it in one swoop. Half moon, right fingertips come down. And the left leg is up. Left toes flexed. Strong right leg, strong left leg. Awesome job, guys. From here, we'll go ahead and meet in chair pose. So you're bending the right knee, the left foot comes in line with the right, taking the weight back, chair pose. Yeah, good job, guys. Yeah, the blocks are really helpful for transitioning from that triangle to half moon. So if you want blocks there, that's a good place to add them in. Feeling the weight shift back into the heels. Strong glutes here. All right, and then slowly with control. So in this flow, we're moving from standing postures down to seated. So we'll slowly with control start to lower down until our sits bones meet the mat. We'll come into boat pose. Yeah. And it may not look very graceful, that's totally okay. It may look more like a flop or more like a flop. Just have patience with it. Kind of train your bodies to do something a little bit more unexpected. So pulling the belly in, lifting the heart and chest open. Really good. Go ahead and lower the heels down. We're lowering the back down. Planting the hands down, lifting up, bridge pose. Yeah. Really good, guys. Go ahead and lower the hips down. We'll start to rock and roll the knees forward and backwards. Meeting back up. From here, you can step back, take a vinyasa from your high plank, or maybe you just want to shift the weight up and back, downward facing dog. So totally your call on how you want to transition there. Maybe it's jumping back into chaturanga, keeping the elbows bent, or maybe it's just skipping the vinyasa entirely, which is kind of where my head's at right now for myself personally. Awesome, guys. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, let it out through the mouth. Letting go of that right side, giving yourself space for new beginnings on the left side. Go ahead and inhale, lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. Then exhale, step it through between the hands. Warrior one. Reaching the arms up overhead. Strong bend in the left knee. Leveling off the hips. Just starting to add in those little observations of the body here. Just noticing where our tendencies are, where we tend to shift our weight in certain poses. Just gathering information about ourselves. So not tying on any judgments or attachments, just allowing yourself to show up and be and then make micro adjustments where needed. Really good. Go ahead and interlace the hands behind the back, maybe switching the grip or the interlace of the fingers. We'll go ahead and inhale, straighten that left leg. Exhale, sink back in. Couple more of these. Inhale, straighten left leg. Exhale, sink. Last time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink. And we'll open the chest, find a baby back bend here. And then leading with the chest and heart coming into our humble warrior. Seeing if we can keep that bend in the left knee. Strong engagement in both feet. Allowing the head to hang heavy. Go ahead and lift back up. Unwind the arms and we'll open to warrior two. Left arm leads, right arm back. Again, taking any adjustments here as needed. Drawing the shoulder blades down and into the back. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and straighten the left leg. From here, we find triangle pose, dipping the right hip back, reaching and leading with the left fingertips. The left hand will come down, right arm reaches up. So thinking about spiraling that chest open and keeping the core engaged, so drawing the belly in. Really good. From here, we start to lift off into our half moon. Left fingertips come in front of the left toes. Maybe kind of exploring that transition where we just kind of float into it, or maybe you take a couple of steps to get there. Just the same way that we observe ourselves in each pose, notice how we tend to transition. Does that transition serve us? Could we tighten it up a little bit? Awesome. Go ahead and drop that right leg in line with the left, coming into chair pose. Bending the knees, taking the hips, biceps in line with the ears. Feeling the weight shift back. Everything drawing in towards the midline, so the rib cage hugging in. Really good. And then from here, we transition onto our sit bones. So slowly with control, lower both sits bones down, lift the heels up, boat pose. Yeah. If you want a little bit more in the core, if you're really feeling that kind of front core, you can straighten the legs. It's hard. All right, go ahead and lower the heels down. We're coming into bridge pose. So slowly transitioning into that, shoulders pressing down, palms facing down, using the forearms to help you lift the hips up. So starting to warm up the back side of our body too. So locust pose is obviously, it's a back bend on our belly. So adding in some of these back bends here to prepare the body. Really good. Go ahead and lower the hips down, hugging the knees into the chest. Start to rock and roll a few times. Your rock and roll leads you to whatever transition you'd like. Maybe it's jumping back into chaturanga. If you jump back, elbows are bent. But wherever you end up, we'll just meet back in down dog. Good job, guys. Go ahead and come forward into plank pose, stacking shoulders over wrists. Then we'll slowly lower onto the belly. Finding our first locust pose. Go ahead and drop the forehead down. Hands will come in line with the hips, palms facing in towards the body. On an inhale, we'll lift up, head, neck, and shoulders, and feet. If you have low back pain at all, my recommendation is to take a wider stance with the feet so the toes are kind of wider the width of the mat. So everything hugging in, feel all those back muscles turn on. And then slightly tucking the chin in towards the chest so the crown of the head reaches long. Good job, guys. Go ahead and lower this all the way down. You did your first locust pose, nice job. We'll take a shoulder stretch here. Right arm comes out parallel with the shoulder, and then we'll roll onto our right shoulder. So rolling onto the right side of the body, the left foot will kickstand. We'll take that to the other side, so rolling back through center, left arm comes out long, and then kickstanding with the right foot. So this flow kind of explores the concepts of strength and then also openness in the body. So strength in the backside body, strength in the legs, and openness and the shoulders in the back. Passing through center, bottom plant the hands, elbows coming in towards the spine, curling the toes under. Same kind of lift back up to plank as we did earlier in class. Draw the belly button up towards the spine. Strong in the quads, strong in the hamstrings, push back up. Yeah, perfect. Then hips back, downward facing dog. Beautiful, guys. We'll take that on both sides again. We'll clear out the breath first. Inhale in deep through the nose, fill up, fill up. Then exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Inhale, lift the right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, warrior one. Planting the left foot, reaching the arms all the way up. Good job. Go ahead and interlace the hands behind the low back. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend and sink. Feeling the glute, the quad here. Inhale, straighten right leg. Exhale, sink. Last time, inhale, straighten right leg. Exhale, sink. From here, we'll find humble warrior. So inhale, pull the shoulders up and back, baby back bend here. Then exhale, leading with the chest, the heart, humble warrior. Palms of the hands reach towards the top of the mat. Feeling the strength in the legs and the space creating in the shoulders. Go ahead and lift back up, unclasp the hands, then exhale, open, warrior two. Yeah, sinking and settling here. Feeling grounded in the feet. Straighten the right leg. From here, finding triangle pose, sending that left hip back. The right hand comes down, the left arm reaches up. Thinking length from tailbone to crown of the head, then from fingertip to fingertip. Awesome job. You guys know where we're going from here. So half moon pose, so setting the gaze a little bit in front of the right toes. And then the right hand will come down, maybe kind of bending and finding that little float transition, or maybe it takes a few hops to get there. Keeping both legs active. We'll lower the left foot down, coming in chair pose. Being slow and mindful with the transitions, being really thoughtful with how you place the body. Chair pose, thinking the weight back, keeping the shoulders integrated into the spine. Awesome, then go ahead and slowly sink back onto the sits bones. And then coming into boat pose. Yeah. From here, we'll lower the feet down, start to roll the body back. Setting up for our bridge pose, palms down, press the forearms into the mat, start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Staying grounded in the feet. Inhale, slowly lower all the way down, hug the knees and the chest, start to rock and roll. And we'll make our way back to downward facing dog, however you'd like to get there. Clearing out the breath once we're there. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Giving yourself new opportunities on the left side, letting go of whatever didn't serve you on the right or whatever experience you had on the right. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step it through, warrior one. On the inhale, you'll rise up. And on the exhale, you'll start to clasp the hands behind the low back. Yeah, and we'll start to find that bend and straighten here. On the inhale, straighten the left leg. And on the exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Yeah, exhale, bend. One last time, inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, baby back bend, pull the chest forward, gaze up. Then exhale, humble the warrior. Really good. Start to use the core to bring you back up to center. Untangle the arms, and we'll open warrior two. Yeah, good job, guys. From here, go ahead and straighten the left leg. Reach the left fingertips forward, finding your triangle pose. Keeping the inner thighs engaged. The chest spiraling up towards the top arm. Belly hugging in. Yeah, good job. And then from here, we'll lift off into half moon, noticing those transitions. Feeling the strength and stability in the body. Yeah, good job. And then slowly and mindfully setting that right foot down in line with the left. Once you have the weight distributed, you can go ahead and shift back into your chair pose. Good job, guys. Go ahead and slowly lower all the way down, sits bones down, finding your boat pose. Really good. Go ahead and lower down, preparing for bridge. Feet down, heels in towards the glutes, palms facing down. Use the palms to lift the hips up. Finding space in the backside body. Good job. Go ahead and lower this all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest, rock and roll. However you want to get there, your transition back to downward facing dog. Once you've made it to down dog, no rush, we will take a child's pose. Go ahead and lower the knees and shins. Set the weight back towards the hips, or the hips back towards the heels. Just allow the body to let go. Notice how the breath is moving. Notice how the mind is moving. Good job, guys. Let's go ahead and walk both hands on over to the right in our child's pose. So allowing the weight to be still shifted back, just getting that left side body stretch. And we'll take it on over to the other side. Hands walk over to the left. Rib cage opens on the right side body. Feeling the space in between. And passing back through center. We will meet in downward facing dog. Curling the toes under, lifting the hips up and back. Nice job. Go ahead and start to shift forward into high plank. Shoulders stacking over wrist. And we'll slowly lower all the way down to the mat. So belly all the way down. Feel the triceps engage here. Awesome job. Go ahead and rest one cheek to the mat. The arms can be long. Just closing the eyes here. Feeling the body just let go. Melting into the mat. Forehead comes back to the mat. Chin tucks in slightly in towards the chest. We'll take a couple of rounds of locust here. So again, if you need more space in the low back, you can always widen the legs a little bit. If not, the legs are hips distance. Then on an inhale, we'll lift everything up. We'll lift the feet, the legs, the head, the neck, the arms. Feeling everything hug in towards the midline of the body. Feeling space in the low back, so getting really long from tips of toes to the crown of the head. On an inhale, let's see if we can lift up a little bit higher. Lifting the shoulders, lifting the hands, lifting the legs. Then we'll exhale, lower that all the way to the ground, opposite cheek to the mat. So we can really feel our kind of back core muscles turn on here. So really strengthening the entire, all of the muscles along the spine. Awesome job. Come back through center, forehead comes down to the mat. This variation, we will clasp the hands. So interlace the fingers. If this does not serve you, if your shoulders are really tight, you can just take the same variation that we just did. All right, we'll go ahead and start to straighten the arms, soften in the elbows. Then on an inhale, lift the head, the chest, the legs up. Feel the inner thigh spiral up towards the ceiling. And your gaze is down slightly in front of you, so keeping the neck long. Really good. On an inhale, see if we can lift everything up a little bit higher. Yeah, and then exhale, slowly lower that all the way down, letting go, cheek to the mat, just kind of plopping into the mat. Good job, guys. Let's go ahead and take the same shoulder stretch we did in our last round. So right arm comes out long in line with the shoulder. If you want a little bit more stretch, like a deeper stretch into the arm, so if you're doing this and you're like, I could get more shoulder stretch, then try bending the arm into cactus arms. So the right arm will be out, kind of the elbows in line with the wrist, and then you can try kickstanding that left leg over. Just an option though. Then we'll take it to the other side, passing back through center. Left arm comes out in line with the shoulder. Just have the arm straight or have the arm bent in cactus arms. And then kick standing over, bending that right leg. Really, really good. All right, then coming back through center. And then we'll push back into child's pose. Just allowing all of that to kind of revert back. Yeah. All right, guys, and then we'll go ahead and come up onto our knees and shins. We'll take one quick counter pose before we kind of get into that fuller or like half full Shalabhasana is what I'm calling it. So we'll take rabbit pose first. We've got a lot of like back bending, opening. We'll round the spine a little bit just to kind of let go of that. So rabbit pose, you're going to be placing the crown of the head down onto the mat in front of your knees. And then the hands will come back onto the calves. You'll kind of pull the hands and the calves back and round the spine. So I kind of like to push my belly button up towards my spine
and use the leverage of the calves to round the spine. Deep breath in, fill up the backside body, and exhale out. Awesome, go ahead and let that go. Okay, so setting up for our kind of peak version of locust pose. If you have, like your knees have any pain at all, or if they cause you any discomfort, you may want to place a blanket under the knees or roll up the mat, but just to kind of prepare you. And we'll work on this together. I'll show you first, and then we'll try it together on both sides. I'll cue you through it. I'll just show you one side, and if you can watch and observe, and if you're like, no, thank you, I don't really want to try that this evening, that's perfectly fine. You can take locust pose, you can take any of those versions, you could take a bridge pose, or you could even take a bow pose. So some alternative options. So just to show you what this looks like, we're going to start in kind of like a knees, chest, chin situation. So we're going to come down onto our chest and coming onto the chin. So my gaze is forward and I'm on my knees. I'm actively drawing my elbows in towards my body. So in towards the spine. And then I like to walk my knees up just a couple of steps. And maybe this is where you stay. So maybe you're activating here, everything's pulling in towards the midline of the body, and you just feel that back bend here. You want to take it a little bit further. We'll start on the right side. So you curl the left toes under, pull the belly in, draw the muscles of the spine in, and start to lift that right leg up. Yeah. And then maybe you want to come a little bit further onto the knee, lift up a little further here, engage the back. Yeah. And that's that. So I'll cue you through together. We'll just take a couple of breaths on both sides. Again, your practice, your body, you do you always. So yeah, let's go ahead and set up first. So hands plant on the mat, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Gaze is in front. Once you're here, pull the elbows in, shoulders back. So everything is hugging in. Start to walk the kneecaps up a little bit. We don't want too much weight onto the direct knees itself. Once you're here, tuck and curl the left toes under. Draw the belly in, knit the ribcage together. Start to lift the right leg up. I like to point my toes, engage the right glute. Feel that back bend. One more inhale here. Then exhale, go out and lower that down. Go ahead and push back up. You can come into a child's pose, just let that go. Hopefully everyone's feeling good with that. And we'll take it on the other side when you're ready. So when you're ready, lean back onto the palms of the hands. Knees, chest, chin. Lowering down, chin down, gaze in front of you, hugging elbows in. Start to walk the knees in a little bit. We're curling the right toes under. Knit the rib cage in, pull the belly in. So it's important to stay really strong in the core here. Then start to lift the left leg high. Finding your balance here, pressing the hands into the mat. Nice job, guys. And go ahead and slowly lower that down. And we'll meet in child's pose. Hopefully that felt good in the body. We did so many back bends today, which are really energizing, really amazing for all of your postural muscles. So hopefully that felt good. And we'll start to wind things down. When you're ready, go ahead and meet back in downward facing dog. We'll find a pigeon pose here. Start to draw the right knee towards the right wrist, setting the right knee and chin down. Left leg comes out long. And when you're ready, just go ahead and start to fold in. So finding your version of the shape, maybe you want to stay up on the palms, continue to kind of work the shoulders back, work the postural muscles on the way on the back, or maybe you want a little bit more kind of release in the hips and folding down. Feel the breath here, the space creating in the belly, and the release on the exhales. Just really drawing the mind's awareness to the breath and feeling what it's like to breathe. Three more cycles of breath. And once you've reached that third cycle of breath, go ahead and start to walk the hands back up. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Any movements you need to take between sides, you can take them here, pedaling out the feet, lifting a leg, opening a hip, whatever you gotta do, giving yourself space and freedom to move. And then when you're ready, you'll take that on the left side. So drawing the left knee towards the left wrist, setting that knee and chin down, extending that right leg back, and then folding into your shape or maybe staying upright. So taking your version of your half pigeon, seeing if you can find a place of surrender here. See if you can match the lengths of the inhales, the length of the exhales. And when you're ready, go ahead and come on back up to the palms. We'll take one last seated pose. So swing the legs around. We'll find a wide-legged seated forward fold. So go ahead and extend the legs out wide. You may want to come the length of your mat if you're on hard floor. Giving our inner thighs a little bit of love. Once you're there and situated, again, like your level of openness with the legs will depend on what you need and your mobility. But just go ahead and get there and find yourself rooted in the sits bones. Find length in the crown of the head. And then maybe you stay here, or maybe you want to start folding into it. So if you want to fold into the shape, you'll just start to walk the fingertips forward. You'll kind of tuck the tailbone back behind you. And again, just walking the hands out to your level of stretch. We'll just take a few cycles of breath here. Find gratitude for your body. And giving the legs a little bit of stretch and openness after all the warriors we did today. Go ahead and start to walk the hands back up, coming out of the fold. We'll swing the legs around towards the top of the mat and then slowly lower all the way down to the back. Go ahead and hug both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze here. And go ahead and drop both knees on over to the right. Supine twist. Arms can be long in a T or maybe cactus. Perhaps the gaze goes over the left shoulder. Just allow this pose to be really restorative. Allow the body to return back to its natural breath. Draw the knees back to center. And we'll take that to the other side. So the knees drop to the left side. Allowing legs to be heavy. Then coming back through center. Invite yourself to take any last poses you may need to take. Maybe a happy baby, maybe a shoulder stand plow, or maybe that's coming right into your Shavasana. So just making your way to Shavasana, however you would like to make it there. I will give you a couple minutes of silence in your Shavasana, so I haven't left you or anything, but just give yourself just a couple of moments to decompress. So find the weight melting into your mat. Allow yourself to relax all the muscles of the face. Wiggle out any last kind of bits of tension. And then in my Shavasana, I always tell myself this mantra because I need it, that in my Shavasana, there is nowhere else I need to be and nothing else I need to be doing. So I invite that to you all, to give yourself the space and freedom to simply be. I'll let you know when to wake up. Begin to slowly wake the body up, inviting movements back, wiggling fingers or toes. Maybe rolling out wrists or ankles, taking a full body stretch. And then eventually making your way into a seated position, however you'd like to get there. It's rolling over to one side or just pushing yourself up. We'll all meet back in a comfortable seated position. Drawing the hands to heart center, closing the eyes, connecting inward one last time. Take a deep breath in, fill up. And exhale it out. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. The light and love in me honors the light and love in each of you. Namaste.